Welcome to New Wave Teaching Lessons. If you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe. We upload videos every single week. In this series, we'll talk about Algebra 1, specifically Semester 1. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to New Wave Teaching. This is our Algebra 1 series for Semester 1. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to watch the previous videos. It'll help you understand this video much more. In addition to, we do have some free resources for you guys down in the description bar below. We have a free follow along worksheet for every single video. You can go ahead and download that at any time, and it goes over all the questions in the video, plus few tries, in addition to a full answer key. So let's get started. So going for the toolbox, when solving multi-step equations, sometimes you will have to distribute before you can combine like terms. So doing a little review, distribute is when you go and you multiply to both terms inside of the parentheses. And combining like terms is when you put terms together that have the same variable and power. So that might look like something like this. I'm going to go ahead and take that 4 and I'm going to distribute to both the 5 and the 7x. And then from there, you would end up combining like terms. So, but first we did distribute. It could also go the other way. Sometimes when solving multi-step equations, sometimes you will have to combine like terms before you can distribute. So looking at that might look this way. So instead of distributing that 6 first, which you cannot do, you must combine like terms inside the parentheses before you do anything. So I see that I have a 7x and a 3x that are like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and combine those first before I distribute. So going from here, let's do some examples. Okay, so our goal today, again, is two-step equation with variables on both sides and how to solve it. So let's look at the first one. I have variables on both sides. 2a plus 6 equals 3a minus 1. So what I want you guys, if you're going to take out anything from this video, this tip is huge. So remember to move the smaller variable first. And the reason for this is it'll be easier in the long run by eliminating as many negatives as possible. And you guys will see what I mean by that a little bit later. So 2a and 3a, I want to get them together. I can't just combine them and say, oh, it's 5a. You can't do that. So I need to move the smaller variable. So we know that the smaller variable is 2a, and we know that 2a is positive. So in order to move that, I need to go ahead and do the opposite, which is subtract 2a to both sides. What's going to happen is those 2a's will cancel, and then you're left with 6 equals, and then 3a minus 2a will give you 1a. It's not necessary to write the 1 in front of the a, and then minus 1. So now from here you have a simple one-step equation just by that first thing that you did. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides, and I end up getting a equals 7. If you watch my previous videos, I talked about where the variable should lie. Anytime you're writing out an answer or plugging in an answer to like an online platform, they're always going to want the variable on the left-hand side. So it's really important that you end up with a equals 7 as your final answer. Let's try another example. I have negative 3x equals 5x plus 8. So in this specific situation, the tip is going to be, remember to move the variable that makes the most sense. And what I mean by that is in the last question, we moved the smaller variable. And yes, if you look at this question, the smaller variable is negative 3x. So I would add 3x to both sides. But what happens is you end up adding 3x both sides, and then there's nothing left over on the left side. So it doesn't really make sense because you need to have something on each side. So in this case, it is a rare case that you're going to move the larger one. So I have 5x, and I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5x to both sides, and we end up crossing those out, and we get negative 8x equals 8. And then from here, of course, we need to get the x isolated. So I'm going to go ahead and use inverse operations to divide both sides by -8. Make sure you're not just doing positive, but negative, because you need to make sure that x is completely by itself. So going from there, I would get x equals -1, because a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative. Okay, our last question. Let's try this. We have -2x plus 1 equals -4x plus 9. So this is a tricky one. So what is your smaller variable? Think about it. I have a -2x and I have a -4x. A lot of people would jump to say, oh, -2 is smaller, but is it? So if you're -$2, are you smaller than someone who's -$4? False. -4 is actually the smaller of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and add 4x to both sides, because that's my inverse, and those will cancel out. And then you're left with -2x plus 4x will give you 2x. And then everything else, the 1 and the 9 will both drop. So now I'm going to go ahead and subtract I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1 to both sides, and those will cancel out. And now, again, I'm leaving that variable to the very last step. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 to both sides. And my final answer is going to be x equals +4. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I hope this video was helpful. We do have plenty more videos, so be sure to check out our channel, subscribe, and our next video is on the docket. Have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell to never miss a video. Have a good one.